I went to sleep with gum in my mouth and there's a gum in my hair. And when I got out of bed this morning, I tripped on the skateboard and by mistake, I dropped my sweater in the sink while the water was running. And I could tell it was going to be a terrible, terrible, horrible, no good, very bad day. Quote from Alexandra in The Terrible, Horrible, No Good, Very Bad Day. A real great example for what I'm about to share. Hi all, I'm Asby Answers. I'm all about creating mental health and awareness videos as well as autism videos, advocating and educating you all in a way of mental health and autism, taking you all on a journey when I'm able with fun and games, travel with me and stuff, and seeing what life is like for me as an autistic adult. So if you're into any of these and more, feel free to smash that subscribe button on the bottom right hand corner and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss any future videos. It'd be much appreciated. So you may be thinking what I'm talking about. It's black and white thinking. As we know, basically black and white thinking can sometimes feel intentional or manipulative, especially when it happens again and again in similar situations that arises. Black and white thinking is also known as polarized thinking pattern, ways of thinking that are just making sense to people maybe with autism or some form of mental health disorder such as bipolar, depression, etc. Black and white thinking is a pattern of thought that are characterized in thinking in the extremes as they will work in a way of being polar opposite. Individuals on the spectrum also struggle with the nuisance and non-verbal gestures and communication that exist in interpersonal interactions and communication standards that may come naturally more to others. How many times a day do you find yourself thinking, feeling, or talking about something as if there must be only one or two possible choices or ways to go? For example, either I'm a winner or I'm a loser. I can prove I was right, so that proves you are wrong. To take care of your needs, I have to give up on mine if you can't be open and spontaneous like me that are inhibited. I only have two choices: fight or give up. You're uncontrolled by your feelings and he is controlled by his own mind. Another classic example, for anything lower than 100% on a math quiz equals that I'm a failure. And that's even if the actual grade is only earned as a 97%. Ending conflicts is a tough one to begin with, but for someone with autism, an argument or lack of agreement with the topic equals no more friendship. And I have also, just as a heads up, did talk about basically how to do a bit of conflict management with autistic, which I'll link in the iCard above me as well as in the description box below me. As well as in saying this, I did also a type of thinking, which again you'll see in iCard above me and in the description box below me. A young woman with autism may get into an argument with a friend at school and immediately feel they may not be friends or they are not friends with this person anymore. Struggling to understand that disagreement that happened are a natural part of any relationship and can be and should be able to be worked through. These automatic thoughts can lead to significant setbacks in a child's academic and social function. Notice also that this way of looking at the world also contains a very strong judgmental element. The central energy behind each polarized thought is that one idea. One person on one side is good or powerful and the other one is wrong or powerless. So what is going on that locks us into this limited way of looking at life and robs us of our freedom of choice? This way of seeing the world, polarized thinking, is not only common, it's often emphasized during childhood and teenage years by our parents. You're a good child or a bad child. If you don't tell the truth, you are lying. Our teachers, if you know you're the right answer to, or do your exercise the correct way, you can. If you can't do it, you correctly fail. Now, spiritual leaders, until you're saved, you're not a true believer. This is only one true faith. No other faith can get into heaven. Polarized thinking is the very essence of our legal system. Either you are innocent or guilty. If you can prove it, you can win the case. If you don't have the evidence, you lose the case. Polarized thinking for black and white thinking go to the extremity. Our government and our political parties operate very much within these limits of polarized thinking, which effectively rules out most opportunities for compromise or consensus. Most wars are between two sides, each stuck in the same kind of restricted thinking, but polarized and opposing positions with no room to move. We are right, they are wrong, and we must kill to prove it. Sports such as football encourage the same approach to life. This sort of approach is also known as the all for nothing thinking. All this will interfere with our love of a healthier relationship or friendship with someone. Does this seem all to look and feel all familiar to you, of what we say to ourselves on a daily, of these common trends of what I'm sharing with you all? With this type of thinking, this can distort our reality and contribute to negative impacts of our lives such as anxiety, depression, and other mental illnesses that can contribute to this way of thinking. How we change our way of thinking is up to us. So you may be thinking, how does black and white thinking affect us? Black and white thinking can create helplessness. An example for this is that we put our partner down saying that they were a complete jerk for not doing what you asked them to do, and then you on the other hand is not willing to change your thoughts and outlook of the problem at hand. Another one is advanced defensiveness in others. Example, you've never done the chores they asked you to. You start yelling at the person and all that makes you feel that person make them feel worthless and defenseless due to attacking them with your words. There are a lot of reasons why they may not have done what you have asked them. They could have been busy, tired, forgot to do them, and not actually trying to drive you totally insane. until the boiling point when you're in rupture anger. This sort of thinking behaviour towards our partner will then result for breakups, divorces, arguments and so much stress, etc., to the point that you will be left alone. So we need to be careful how we choose our words or use them to whoever we're talking to. This can result in dire consequences. You can always find ways of improvement for yourself as well as for your communication that you're having issues with, and also be patient with the person that you're trying to communicate with. Another way it can affect you is negatively impact your relationship with others, as I mentioned. Say that you've been dating for a while and everything felt very good with that person, right? You feel on top of the world, you're on cloud nine, you've got the butterflies and everything, and then all of a sudden they're the wrong person to be with or the worst person to be with, and you're in a vicious cycle of love and hate, good and bad, up and down. When this happens all too often in a healthier relationship, the black and white thinking can impact your peace and comfort with each other and being able to connect with each other on a deeper spiritual level as you crave for love and acceptance from your partner. Another one is it can hurt your self-image. How and what we do to see ourselves as a person is another way of looking at it. As we may think we're a good or bad person in reality, though, however, we're in the go. But yet when we think black and white thinking, we risk being overly self-critical on ourselves, and we end up refusing to see our own faults, flaws and imperfection. This can lead us being hypersensitive towards others based on their opinions and make it difficult to accept criticism without deep insecurity that will in turn lead us to not being able to love ourselves and allow growth in all areas of our lives. Why do we use black and white thinking is the question. There could be a lot of possibilities, but my way of thinking it is black and white thinking can serve as a purpose in the right way. Yet this is a form of a defense mechanism for us all if we act that we're like a victim from a traumatic experience, or that we want to be in control of everything and everyone else around us. So how can we begin to help our children and our adolescents develop a sense of the grey area? Below, hopefully, there are some strategies that we can be used to help the black and white thinking becoming more comfortable on all the grey area that life tends to throw our way. So the very first thing you can do is find the grey area for them, is a suggestion here. Since black and white thinkers don't naturally see the grey, it can be helpful for others to define it to them. For example, if a child has autism, worked on a long-term project in an art class and brings it home claiming they are disappointed with how it turned out and writing off the entire thing is a total failure, a parent can ask their child questions such as, did you have to learn any new art skills to make this project? Or what is the one thing you did like about the art project? Asking these sort of questions can prompt your child to see that both positive and negative aspects of one thing can coexist. Another one is changing our thinking pattern. Another way to define the grey and expand the walls of black and white thinking is to ask a child or young man or woman if there are any other reasons that a particular outcome may have taken place. For example, if you're driving alone on the highway and notice that there has been a car accident, engage the grey area thing by asking, how do you think that car accident happened? How else could it have happened? What else? Anything else? Because to help them to identify that it could have been the red car that hit the blue car. It could have been the driver in the blue car that was texting and focusing on a phone call. Perhaps the driver in the red car was sneezing or was arguing with the passenger and wasn't processing that the driver in front of them was slowing down. When grey area thinking isn't happening naturally, provide choices or ask questions. For example, do you think it could have been the fault of the driver of the red car, not the blue car? Do you think the driver didn't notice the traffic was slowing? Here's another big set of questions you can ask about perspective feelings. How do you think the drivers of the cars might feel? Do you think the driver of the blue car is feeling right now if the red is obviously banged up more than the blue? These conversations will not be met with ease, and it will take persistence to initiate discussion about other reasons, feelings and perspectives again and again until language and thinking patterns begin to change, and even just a little. Right, number 2 is remind your child that a bad moment doesn't equal a bad day. Many black and white thinkers are very quick to write off an entire day as a failure after making one own mistake or having one behavioural issue in school. Hearing from their teachers, parents and peers that the day still has the potential to improve and empower these children to move past their assumptions and generalization. This is another tough idea to internalize because one bad thing equals a bad day. It's difficult to weigh the good and bad of the day and come to the realization that although 1 or 2 bad things happen today, it was still a good day overall. Running the ups and downs of the day is a life skill that will benefit the black and white thinkers as they grow older and learn to navigate the world of school and work and everything else around them. Utilize a visual. Visuals are an excellent tool to use to help expand these parameters beyond the black and white. Incorporating a rainbow with multiple colors or a traffic light signal visual can assist black and white thinkers by developing alternative options and will lead them to select the most likely and realistic outcome. That is the use of colors or different color lights to define multiple solutions to a problem or different possibilities that could take place if a decision is made, e.g. to end a friendship because of a disagreement or to try to work through it and keep the friendship. Another chart that includes rating scales from 1 to 10 can also assist a child in understanding that the in-between area does exist. The bigger the range, the more the grey area, because the nuances of the emotions expand and child or adolescent has to make a decision how they feel without it being feeling just happy, mad, or sad. It could be a combination of feelings or variations of agreeing, mad, sad, etc. Start to see the signs of the all or nothing thinking that arrives in the mindset. Just think about what was shared earlier about how we speak, like, always, never, trying to make someone perfect, etc, etc. Challenge your thoughts. Just because you're thinking it doesn't mean that you may act upon it. It doesn't sound true. Take away all these negative thoughts and replace them with the positive thought by maybe writing out some pros and cons versus also maybe just affirmations if need be. 5. Replacing these thoughts to a moderate standard of thought. 6. Increase your willingness to all your emotion. It's okay to feel not okay some days, but the number one thing to remember is how we express it. Talk to someone that you trust, or even talk to the other person that you're having issues with, and try to work on a solution than making it an everyday problem. List your options. We know that we do end up thinking negatively. We should be able to weigh up our positive thinking as well. Black and white thinking patterns can have quite the impact on everyday functioning, as I mentioned, both in and out of school, relationship, friendships, and more. Incorporating some of these strategies can assist the black and white thinkers in challenging the ordinary thought pattern. For those who see the world in nothing but extremes, it's important for them to gain some perspective and learn that life really fits itself perfectly into the all or nothing approach. Life school can be tough and have a lot of different feelings and emotions that comes with it. Yet again, as I said, it's up to us to how we are going to approach this situation and to how or what we think. And someone like me, for who and what I am, is an example. 8. Ask others for help. Sometimes it's good to have someone else to talk to and being able to share thoughts, etc., so that we can gain a better understanding perspective to what and how they see it if there was a problem. As they say, 2 heads are better than 1. As said, communication is here, your key here. Bottom line here to end this is that with all these strategies and knowing what is causing you to think the way that you do, the sooner the better you can get help for yourself. It's all about taking care of yourself first and foremost. It's all about accepting the fact that something isn't right, and with the right method we can go further into succeeding ourselves in life. Remember, what we say and do in our lives is up to us and starts and ends with us. Well, the authors and painters of our stories. Well, this quickly ends the black and white thinking. No room for grey area. Smash the like if you like this. Comment below about this if I've missed anything. If you're a black and white thinker, do you have any strategies basically based on the topic at hand? And if so, is that any different to some of the strategies that I've just basically laid out? If so, comment them below. Is it just all to do, guys? Thanks for watching. Do what you love what you do. Until next time, SB signing out. I'll see you again. So ciao for now.